Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council, staff on the other side, and those who are watching tonight. I appreciate the reaching out to your United Way of Will County as that resource, as you know, to unite communities, especially during these challenging times, to work together to help one another. And as the Mayor mentioned, I sent him a note this morning and copied both Steve Jones and Krista Desiderio, knowing the announcement that was made and the Herald News about the emergency situation with the city of Joliet, what you're doing to mobilize resources. So it was nice enough, about 6:30 this morning, Steve responded, "What are you doing at 8 o'clock? And I said, "Where do you want me to be?" And he had a city meeting, staff meeting, so I was glad to be there to give an update. And I shared with your team leaders just some of the things that we're trying to gather. What is being passed around, I don't know if all of you have it, is our community impact partners. These are the organizations that we invest in that are providing critical services to people. A little over 91 programs. And on the back, you'll see a list of the programs that we're supporting, as well as some of the things that we do as well on a regular basis. And things like this bring a community together to help one another, as Pastor mentioned in his remarks. The point of contact, and you see on top of the flyer, is Crisis Line of Will County. You know that, your team members know that. If people are not sure where to turn for help, reach out to the 24/7 helpline number, the 815-722-3344, or individuals can go on their website, willfindyou.help.org, willfindyouhelp.org. And in a real-time update, Michelle Batera is their executive director, and we've been in communication several times a day over the last several days, and she's been keeping up to date on services that have changed, and we are in the process, as we speak, getting updated real information from our agency partners, what has changed, what impact services have had on the clients they care for, their availability of hours, etc. We'll be having that soon on our website. We'll be getting those updates as we've been receiving them from Michelle. So when the individuals do call them, they'll have real-time information about what is available to assist them. Now, I gave Michelle a heads up this morning because, as was mentioned in the article that you had with Mayor, and talking about people needing wellness checks and making sure they're okay, they have what's called the Sunshine Program. And every day, they're calling a number of seniors, making sure they're well. There might be reminders from some seniors several times a day to take medication, but also now they would welcome anyone else that would have someone that they would like to add to that list that they will call every day or a couple times a day just to check on them. Of course, the Meals on Wheels program is another opportunity for daily meals. And when I was speaking to them a little while ago, there's about 150 seniors that receive a daily hot meal. And that also makes a wellness check too. And if something is happening, they can call an emergency situation, call the paramedics, the police to come out and rescue them. But if any of the people watching right now have someone that they would like to call, add to the Sunshine call list, please give Crisis Line a call and they will add them. And I checked with Michelle if she's going to need some additional volunteers, and you may have some of the city staff that may be willing to give some time just to make those friendly calls at the Crisis Line of Will County Center. We'll keep you apprised of that. Also, the feedback we're receiving from our partners, some in-kind items, sanitizing items, and just basic things that everyone is required to have. They're running very short and need some additional supplies. And also, 75% of our agencies are experiencing some funding challenges because of some of the fundraising events that have been canceled or planned to cancel. Important revenue that they rely on may not be there. They may defer these events, but it still may not, again, reach the capacity and resources they were hoping for. So we're monitoring that. Also, there have been some other costs that they've had to incur, increase cleaning costs, other things not anticipated they had not budgeted for, so we're compiling those resources as well, so that if individuals and companies wanted to make a contribution to help offset that, we again are mobilizing our disaster relief fund. As you know, we have this agreement with the city going back probably several years, but this fund was established back in 1990 when the Plainfield tornado, Joliet, and Crest Hill tornado impacted. That fund was established to raise funds and distribute them based on input from the community, and 100% of whatever we get goes back to help people in need. So we're going to be having that available on our website very soon. If anyone is wanting to help, and monies will be set aside, and eventually we might find from other communities they may want to have funds set aside too. So we'll have cost centers for every community and resources, work with local leadership, and then in a coordinated way to find opportunities where we can then give those funds back to help people who are facing some significant challenges. And before I turn over to the special person that joined me, Brianne Hetman, who is the Chief Operating Officer for Senior Services of Will County. I know earlier this morning we talked about things needed for senior information. When I spoke with Brianne a couple hours ago, she's got some updated information and potential resources. And as you mentioned, Mayor, that things are changing on the hour to keep up to date, and we're trying to do what we can. Some of these resources and changes our agencies are giving to us, we'll continue to have that updated. We'll have it up on our website. And as I mentioned earlier, Crisis Line of Will County will also have that information to make available to the community. Let me just stop here real quick and maybe answer questions the council members, Mayor, you may have.
Questions?
I have a question. If someone calls Crisis Line and they are severely impaired and they need to be admitted to a facility, now their facilities are not taking new people right now because of the virus. So what happens to those folks?
You're referring to the hospitals?
Hospitals and other institutions where they stay for 5 days in the hospital and then they have to go to another facility for further rehab, but the rehab places aren't taking them.
Well, we're going to have to check, and I think Ruth Colby was here yesterday to speak with you from Silver Cross, and I know you're reaching out to also Amita St. Joseph Medical Center. We'll have to find out what the protocols are. I mean, right now, if someone calls, we're telling them to call 911, and they'll tell them to call 911 as well, and for them, what the ambulance, what the fire department and paramedics will do in transporting to that individual, that's not something that I have looked at for this presentation this evening. It was just more of at least a network of where to go, but that's what Michelle or whoever receives the call from Crisis Line of Will County will tell that person to please call 911.
Well, okay.
And then Brianne will have some more information too that she can add as well. Do you want me to have? This is Brianne Hetman.
Sure.
She is
I think,
I'm sorry.
Councilman Gannon.
Just a question for you, and I'm so glad you are here, Mike, because we were just discussing this issue and a possible dilemma that we have in my district, and I know in our Councilman Morris's district as well. We have elders that are seniors that are shut in. We do our best in terms of trying to provide them food. We have food delivered for the sick and the shut in. The thing that I'm concerned about with the elderly people, and maybe with the helpline, I'll start referring some of those names, but the wellness checks are very important, and I hope that the people out there that have families who have seniors in their family are doing their due diligence and watching. But those people who don't have, we're trying to build this network where we can reach out and make sure that we bring them the resources that they need. So if I heard you correctly, I can call this number and give you some names.
Yes.
Of some elderly. Okay, we shall do that, and as well as volunteers as well.
Correct.
So we want to be able to help as well on that. So I thank you so much for bringing this. This is such a timely piece to be talking about right now, so thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. And I'll have Brianne then give some updates, which
Perfect.
answer maybe Councilwoman's question, plus
Absolutely.
Councilman Big Daddy.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
I'll
Mike.
just start with the question and then we can kind of go into a little bit of what I prepared. So the long-term care facilities, including skilled nursing care, as well as rehabilitation facilities as well as long-term care are all collaborating together, and all of them right now, according to what we have heard from our daily call from the Illinois Department on Aging, is that each of them are implementing their own internal protocols right now because there is no exact directive from the state on how they're proceeding. So the administration in each independent facility is working to make sure that anyone that needs to be placed will be placed. So I can tell you we have moved individuals from hospital care, 5-day stay, 3-day stay, into long-term care facilities in Will County. In the past 3 days, 2-day, it has happened. However, there are different protocols in different long-term care facilities depending on certain circumstances. You know, their visitors are restricted, of course, but there's other protocols depending on what is happening in their current facility that they have to make accommodations. So if there is a senior or an older adult, someone that is in need of rehabilitative services, they will be able to get those services. It's just a matter of putting the necessary things in place. The state has waived some of the requirements that we usually have to do in order to expedite those processes. So they'll work directly, you know, like for example, Amita St. Joseph Medical Center would work directly with, you know, Villa Franciscan, and then they would make sure that there's a bed available. So right now, we are not hearing that there is no opportunity for someone to get care or have access to care. It actually is being expedited. It just depends on which facilities. It's a lot of the same hoops that we have to jump through on a regular basis with some extra. But everyone is cooperating. All those systems, healthcare systems, skilled nursing, we're all working together to make sure that needs of our community are met. So I would not think that that's an alarm that we need to sound right now, but it is definitely something that is taking some navigation.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. And there definitely is a plan, and I can speak specifically to senior services to make sure that we are providing outreach and wellness checks to every senior that we come in contact with. So for us here in Joliet, every month we see an average of about 6,000 seniors from the city of Joliet. So we touch them in one way or another, whether we see them in person, whether we talk to them on the phone, or whether they're a part of our intensive case management program. So there's a lot of individuals right now, over 3,000, that we are triaging and making sure that we do wellness checks to each and every one. And through partnerships from United Way with the Crisis Line of Will County, we're making sure that we will have a plan to contact any senior in Will County needing information, resources, more programs, access to any information that they need so that they can stay safe and healthy. It is our internal protocol that we've been starting to implement this week to make sure that those things happen. We did have to restrict our hours at our center here in downtown Joliet, but that's really just open to the public, restricting those that are the traffic coming in and out. Everybody, we are still available by phone. You can contact us, and if it's after hours, you can definitely contact the Crisis Center of Will County. That number is 815-723-9713. Go ahead, question.
Is that the crisis number you gave?
That is senior services number.
Do you have the crisis number to give as well?
Yeah, it's right on the top of your.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
right on the top.
815-722-3344. That's the 24/7 helpline number. Or one can go on the website, willfindyou.help.org, and then you can do a search on what services are available right to your specific zip code of where you reside in Will County and Grundy County as well. They cover both counties. They also, on their website, it converts into about 20 different languages, which is helpful for a person that may be communicating a different language. They can again access those emergency services or just general services available to assist them.
And maybe, I know Steve's not in there, Mayor, maybe you can direct the city manager to give all that information on our website.
Yep.
In a more prominent place than maybe it normally is.
Okay.
So some of the real-time updates that I wanted to make sure that everybody's aware of, we have a daily call with the Illinois Department on Aging, kind of letting us know what procedures we can expedite, what we don't have to work. And one of the things that we are not doing is face-to-face visits, which is something that occupied a lot of our time all across Will County, not just here in the city of Joliet. So what we are doing instead is the wellness checks, like I mentioned, making sure that we're contacting everyone, seeing that their basic needs are met. What the Illinois Department on Aging has done is open up another funding stream where we can access funds to provide for emergency services. And these can be anything from, you know, making a shipped order delivered directly to an older adult's home, or it can be making sure that they have a 3-month supply of their medication and getting it delivered from CVS as opposed to having them have to go and pick it up. So this is brand new. All I did was sign all the documents today and said, please send us the money. But know that if you do have seniors that are in crisis, if you have seniors and older adults that need information, if there's any needs that they have, you can funnel them through the crisis line in Will County or send them directly to senior services, because we will have funds, resources, and information, programs, and services that we can put into place to make sure that they are safe and healthy. Any other questions? Good. Thanks so much for letting us come and talk about some of our
Thank you for the work that
one of the
you're
biggest
doing.
populations in Joliet. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.